Hello everyone and welcome to the RNG University. So today, in anticipation of the Meathook ban, I'm going to now not play any black cards in my current set. So today we're just going to play a good old control meta with the blue-eye Azorius control that I think a lot of people are familiar with. So this is kind of my play style anyways, kind of slow down, clear the board, wait till late game, and then bam, ultimate Teferi. So that's kind of the idea of the game. We have a lot of removals early game with March of the Otherworldly Light, Faithful Absence, and yeah, so that's already 6 removals. We also have a bunch of field clings in form of Depopulate and Farewell. And not to down talk the number of counter spells we have, which is 3 Make Disappear, 2 Urtai Scorn, and just one, Devious Cover-Up. So we want to have this cycle of infinite cards in our deck as it goes through the graveyard cycling back and forth, but that's only necessary when we're playing against a extremely control-heavy deck. Otherwise, they're just counterspells. They're just there for counterspells. But on the other hand, we do have some tempo cards in terms of Malevolent Hermit against the mono blue. Just one. I haven't really thought about what to cut to put that in, so I'm only running one right now. I am running 2 Denic Pious Apprentice so that cards in graveyard can't be the target of abilities, which means that people can't reanimate, people can't, target graveyard with their Trespasser, things of that nature. But somewhat of a numble is the Unlicensed Hearse, which also tackles the graveyard a bit, but if our opponent has a graveyard synergy combo, we can use this Hearse to kind of remove those. This could be removed in lieu of another Malevolent Hermit. I'm not really sure yet, so that's the idea, kind of the midpoint as of right now. I also have the Wedding Announcement, which obviously everyone knows what it does. It's a good tempo card. You can get card advantage if you want to attack with your creatures, or you can just get creatures on board, which is also good against aggro decks to block with. Bank Buster for card draw and for late game mana. Celestis also for mana. Teferi for mana. And I guess the Wandering Emperor is also a removal. And then we have Witness the Future, 1-of, and 2 Memory Deluge for just that additional card draw if we need it. If you look at the land base, we have a lot of lands here. We have Agonjo, 5 Plains, 5 Islands, 1 Arawara. These are kind of the standard set. Then we have all of the double-colored blue-eye lands. We have a Darkar Waste, Deserted Beach, and Tranquil Cove. So total of 12 here. And you can see we have a total of 12 here, so that adds up to a total of 24 lands. This is the land base that I like to use, about 24 lands and about 2 to 3 mana producers. In this case, I really just have the Celestis, but you can kind of count the Bank Buster as eventual mana producers. Not too much mana, but also non-zero amount of mana producers to help us ramp early game. That's the idea of the game, or the deck. There are some numbers, as you can see, Denic locks down our Hearse. Denic also locks down the Witness the Future and Devious Cover-Up. So, gotta be a little bit careful while playing that. Otherwise, should be fine. Denic's really just there for a little bit of lifelink and stopping those early or fast graveyard synergy decks. That's all we got. So let us go and play some meta with the crux of not having basically any sort of Meathook, right? So I hope our opponent's not going onto the board insanely quick. And we're playing against Sir Gandalf. I think we played against a guy named Gandalf before, so that's his dad. He is Sir Gandalf. Alright, opening hand, we have Wedding Announcement. We have Depopulate onto turn 4, so I'm going to keep, even though it's a pretty slow hand. Against Mono Red. Alright, so it's an aggro start. Unfortunate for us, but at least we can gain that 1 life back. And hopefully we can stabilize a bit. Not sure about that, but it really depends on how fast their start is. Okay, we're going 4 damage, 5 damage. Turn 2, which is very, very fast. But we got a Bank Buster turn 2. So hey, we're even. I don't really get that antagonized turn 2 attack, but hey, whatever. Opponent does what opponent does. Alright, I'm going to drop the island in anticipation of playing a counterspell. Not going to play our Wedding Announcement because that 1/1 cannot block anyways. And if our opponent doesn't do anything impactful, we will draw with the Bank Buster. Yeah, something like that was bound to happen. And if it's just an attack with a pump, we can Agonjo it. Otherwise, we'll take the 1 damage. Not the nicest in the world, I guess. Alright, I'm not countering that. That's a lot of damage dealt to us already, unfortunately. Our early game was not tough. So, there is a School of Thought in putting on another Bankbuster, but I don't think it's needed. We're just going to pass turn here, and if our opponent plays another Lightning Strike, we'll go down to 6. Doesn't, so we hold up our Urtai Scorn for a big creature spell, and that's pretty much it. Let's see what our opponent does, as Sir Gandalf here has betrayed himself by not playing white, and is now playing red. Ooh, an Adversary. Alright, so it needs to go away. Celestus is an amazing card to draw. So the plan right now is to drop Celestus, have 3 lands open, and be able to Agonjo his creature if they do decide to attack, or buff. Squee. Okay, so that's the plan. We will kill the Kumano. Yeah, we'll kill the Kumano. They're all 2 damage anyways. We're down to 4. Unfortunately, that means that we'll have to depopulate this turn. Alright, let's see. He could bring back Squee, unfortunately. For us, that means that our wedding announcement is basically a chump. But it is what it is. We need our blocker out, and we're still very close to dead. Just a few burn spell away. We'll just Squee and the Lightning Strike away. Now there's a School of Thought in blocking the 2/2, but we need to reduce board presence. Chances are we're not drawing a big removal spell. We draw a small removal spell, which is fantastic for us because this is 3. So I guess the best thing to do now is to end turn, gain that 1 life, and drop. I don't think we're fast enough for Memory Deluge. Drop the Deluge. We might be able to get Bankbuster out for more blockers if our opponent wants to attack. I should not let them go into combat phase. I should have exiled it right away, but they still get a 1/1 that I have to block now. Alright, before it goes to my turn, we draw a card with the Bankbuster. And we got Make Disappear. It's very, very good. And we can gain extra life. Okay, so can we... Now there's an idea of switching into daytime to gain that 1 extra life, but I think it's better to have another Bankbuster out. Actually, no. It's better to... There's no reason to draw right now then. Let's just end turn. Yeah, I was going to draw with the Bankbuster, but I can draw on his turn as well. Our opponent is tanking on his upkeep. Deal 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that permanent is a spirit, rendering frame deals 2 damage. Not a spirit, so you got it. I don't know what that was for, but maybe he has another attacker. Thundering Raiju. Okay. I can counter it, but I'm going to let it out so I can Emperor. Oh no! Time for our opponent to quit.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelmed. This is what
You are just
get for
underwhelming.
hurting my people.
Is our opponent going to quit? He didn't quit. I was assuming I got the game in the bag, but he really wants to play it out. So let's play it out. White. Crew our Bank Buster. This way we get to untap an artifact, creature, and a land. And we will put up a fun counter on a creature here.
Remember your training.
Go in for a lot. And we'll play our Bank Buster too. I think it's warranted here. And we're in the turn. So, we'll draw a card, drop a card, gain an extra life, and now we're at 9 versus opponent's 12. Right, opponent? What are you going to do? You're going to quit now, or are you just going to rope? Because sometimes opponents do this. Especially the aggro decks, they really like to rope when they're out of cards instead of quitting, which I don't understand. Counterproductive to their game plan of winning as fast as possible. Well, did you just rage quit? I don't really understand people who rage quit games like these, because aren't you here for the game, or are you just here for the win? Because one of those is embarrassing. I don't know what's going on. Come on, Sir Gandalf. Alright, so they're roping. I'm just going to keep talking about the game. So, obviously, blue-white card counters mono-red to an insane extent. Because white counters red, blue counters red. So blue-white together is targeting red. And mono-red is just not a good color right now to play. Honestly, our opponent does have some weird spells too. Rendering Flame is a weird spell. I've never seen it played. Maybe he'll be able to deal with one of my planeswalkers? I don't know. It's just not very good because it can't deal damage to players unless I have a spirit. And then Raiju, obviously, that's just, you know, this is the basic mono red package. Yeah. Also Antagonize. That's a weird card because he was able to deal a lot of damage early game with Antagonize, but then it just kind of peters out. So it's 2 mana for 4 damage if you get lucky, and 2 mana for 4 damage isn't really even that good. So, honestly, just nothing. And our opponent's just going to rope out their whole turn because they don't have enough intelligence to concede. Well, this is making an exciting video. This is the typical arena experience. Unfortunately, I've seen this almost like every other game that I play. It's just either I lose or my opponent's a sore loser and they refuse to play the game. But hey, at least we know we're winning. So there's that. That's 1 win. We're at least in platinum now, so we can't go back down to gold. Alright, let's keep going. This is a fun deck. This is actually my favorite playstyle. Unfortunately, Wizards do not like this type of deck. So they always make cards in these decks a little bit lackluster. So you can see all the cards that we're running. They're not the best. Opponent goes first with 2 lands with a Make Disappear and 2 Wedding Announcement. There is a school of thought in keeping this hand because we draw 2 cards and hope to draw our 3rd land. Right, but I would really like to keep with a Bank Buster. It's unfortunate I didn't get one, so I'm going to have to try to get lucky and draw a land. That was not a land, so now we only have 2 more draws. Okay, now we only have 1 more draw. And if we don't draw a land next turn, we basically lose. Is not a fun enemy to fight, but hey. I need to get my Wedding Announcement out. You can counter this spell, but I really am way behind because I don't draw a 3rd land here. I'll just lose. Fading Hope. That's interesting. So he has no counter spells to stop my march. We drew a third land, so everything is good now. Let's play our wedding announcement, and we'll get a tempo advantage on board. He can burn off my 1/1, or bounce my 1/1. So basically, the way against Izzet deck is to stop them before they get to the big dude there. I forgot his name. The big lobster. But luckily, one of the good things against Izzet deck is that they don't have any anti-enchantments. That I remember. So having a lot of enchantments out makes it good. Just tempo on the board. Can't block all three, and I need to draw some cards. Alright, so I could play the Teferi here, but it'd probably just get countered. He didn't have a counter spell before, but at this point, after all those draws, he probably would have drawn one already. So let's just get our guys big. Voltic Surge. We'll exile one of your eggs in return of your Surge. Alright, so it's got one on the Smoldering Egg. Not going to play anything on his turn. I could absence this on my turn. Probably get countered. But drawing out a counterspell... okay, I have a lot of counterspell in my hand, so drawing out a counterspell may not be the best plan. Let's just waste his mana. Okay, so no counterspell in my opponent's hand. Get to draw another card. And now these are 3/3. So even if it flips, the dragon can't immediately kill us. He has 5 lands now. Burn down the house. Let's stop that in action there. Alright, so now the X is on 6. So we can Egonjo it if it tries to block, but that wastes our land. I don't like that idea as much. I like it much better if we can Teferi it out. Let's just... no. Yeah, let's just Teferi it first. Okay, so I want to tap this and I want to kill it. So let me just kill it. Artifact. Actually, let's go to combat first, guys. I need to attack this. Then I'll go to artifact, creature, land.
And some think time only flows in one direction.
Alright, I guess another burn down the house will burn down my house. It doesn't have it. Typical Izzet deck though, so I'm not really that worried. He did want to draw that card, so it's probably another burn down the house or something. Or maybe that was what he considered. He wants to keep considering. Alright, last egg. Alright. That's fine with that. Interesting. Take that out. And we'll also... Alright, one quits. GG. I was also going to draw a card with Bankbuster and then untap an artifact with it, with the Teferi, but we won that game. So that was a very solid win. We were basically on the aggressive side the whole game, and now our game crashed. So Wizards not letting us move forward. I don't know what happened. Also, the little thing is gone. So yeah, that's the game for today. I think this deck is very strong. I would recommend it. Unfortunately, because the game has crashed, I cannot take back to the deck list, but it's at the beginning of the video. So if you really want to play this deck, I would recommend you check out the deck list. I really love this deck. I think it has not just potential, it's already fairly stable in today's meta. As you can see, we don't need any Meathooks to clear the board and win a lot of games. Anti-control, anti-aggro, I've played both as of right now. And that's all I got for today. Thank you very much for joining me. See you guys next time.